Hi, this is Jonathan Bowman-Perks, and this is my favourite time of the week. So I owe you a story. I owe you an explanation. You very kindly have been supporting and backing me in what has been a very difficult time. Firstly, a story. This weekend on Saturday, I went back to my hometown of Halifax. You may not know from my accent, but I'm an Halifax lad, Yorkshire in England. And I went to the funeral of my legal guardian, Eve Martin. And my mother brought three boys up on her own, my father being killed when I was 3. And we were very conscious that were anything to happen to our mother, we needed to be looked after, being such young boys. So Eve agreed, even though she got 7 children of her own, that she would look after us if my mother died or was killed. So going to her funeral was very, very special. I hadn't been back to Halifax for a long time. And Lee and I travelled back there, and it was very special. The stories that they told about Lee, rather the stories they told about Eve, to Lee and myself, were very poignant. 92 years old, she got the OBE for the work that she did tirelessly for many years for women who were less fortunate than herself, both as chairman of the National Council of Women, but also for women in shelters and women who were less fortunate. And she and my mother both did a lot of philanthropy work in Halifax to help other people. My mother being big in helping family planning for women who needed that kind of support. Her story was powerful. It was of the kind where her church was full. St. Jude's in Halifax was packed with people who wanted to pay respect to this powerful woman who had a clear view of what she wanted in life. And she'd brought up 7 children, 4 of her own and 3 belonging to her brother who was not able to look after his own children. And Carolyn Barnett, her daughter, spoke, and she spoke very powerfully about her mother in ways that made us all smile. Very powerful, very humbling, and what a inspiration she'd been to so many people, and to me particularly as I was a young lad growing up, not sure of where I was going, what I was doing, very underconfident, dyslexic, slightly unsure of myself. And that story was really powerful, stayed with me. But also her husband Rodney was there, and Rodney talked to me afterwards, and he had the cancer that I was having the diagnosis for, and Rodney said he'd been given less than 2 years to live. That was powerful. Rodney's only 70, and he's one of those good guys in life. You know, like, why do the good guys get ill? Why do the good guys die young? My father was 35 when he was killed, way before his time. He died flying another man's aeroplane to make sure it was safe for him to fly. And for some of you who know, I met that man when I was an instructor at Sandhurst. And he said, your father bought my ticket. He should be having lunch with you and I should be dead. He chose to fly my aeroplane to make it safe for me. So not only was Rodney's story incredibly powerful, but so were the stories of Mike, who has cancer, of Peter, who's had cancer and an operation, and of Phil, who I met this weekend at a Marshall Goldsmith coaching session. And they all told their stories. And I wanted to know more about what might happen to me. And I was on the outside calm, but on the inside, I was replaying what would happen if I did have the big C. Because of course, people make this irrational connection. They go, cancer equals death. So I was thinking, okay, so what shall I do with the rest of my life? How will I live my life? What will be my legacy? And how can I make the most of the life I have? How can I be more present with my wife Lee, with my daughters Harriet and Bryony, and my stepchildren Alana and Daniel? How can I really be with them for however long I've got? As Marcus Aurelius said, we can die anytime. We can end it all now. It can be over. So how are we present? How are we making the most of our life? And so when I went to see today at 2:00, some of you might know I was learning today what was going to happen to me. Having had 2 blood tests and then the MRI scan and then there were concerns of the biopsy, I wanted to know what the consultant was going to say. And I was prepared. I had thought through all the options and how I would take things and what I would do, but I was preparing for bad news. And you can probably tell it wasn't bad news. It was actually good news. And I sat there in stunned silence as he said, the biopsy results are negative. You do not have cancer. We thought you would had a strong 50-50 chance of cancer, but you don't have cancer. You're absolutely fine. And good luck. And many others are not so fortunate, and count your blessings. And I really do. And we went out, Lee and I, we had some lunch together to really just value what we do have. We often spend a lot of time thinking about what we don't have, or what we fear of losing, or what we should have had, but we haven't got it. Always wanting more. But actually, today was very poignant. Today was about appreciating what I do have. And I'm so fucking lucky. But others are not lucky. Others don't have. And others get bad news. Others don't have something to look forward to, and they're just, as poor Rodney is, in agony, and it will just get worse. So, yeah, I'm lucky. I'm counting my blessings. I will intend to live my life to the full and to help others who are less fortunate than me. And that's why the work that we do with the Inspiring Leadership Trust for vulnerable young girls will make a real difference to their lives. We've seen this already. And that's why in 3 weeks' time, on the 7th of April, I'll do the triathlon. At the moment, thank you, I've got £1,000 worth of money for completing that, and I want to get 2,000 by the time I do it. So please, if you feel like helping others less fortunate than you, help me to help them. And then I will be doing, on the 8th of December, at the end of the Optimised Coach Program, I will be doing this lunatic thing, this Spartan obstacle race. God knows why I said I'd do it, but it's a goal and humans love goals. And I'll make it a fundraiser for others less fortunate than me. So I've pressed the reset button on life. I thought it was going to be ending. I thought it was going to be much shorter than I planned. I thought that at 57 I might have only a few years left to live. But I've got whatever life has left for me. I've dodged this bullet, but there may be something else coming down the road that I never saw coming. So I will enjoy what happens. And I ask you, make the most of the here and now. Those who are not lucky, support them and help them. I do really appreciate all the love, support and help that people have offered. It's been overwhelming, very touching. People I haven't heard from for years reached out and gave me support, and I thank you for that. Make the most of your life and look after those who are less fortunate than you. Do something to leave a legacy in your lifetime, not after your lifetime. As my old Sergeant Major said, "Sir, you're a fucking legend in your own lunchtime." He swore, I wouldn't swear. But the point is, be a legend in your own lifetime, not after your lifetime. I wish you every luck, and I've pressed the reset button on my life. I'm going to make the most of it, and I hope that you get the chance to do that for you. And if it's not good news, I wish you every success. But thank you so much for your support, and I'll carry on sharing the wisdom and experience that others have taught me and the stories. Thank you very much indeed.